A New Deal for America. Now, I will go over this in a lot more detail again in class because it's difficult to do podcasts on the New Deal because it's quite a big thing. So all I'm going to do on these podcasts is I'm going to go over the alphabet agencies and then opposition to the New Deal, and then I'll go over it as a whole in class. Okay, so the New Deal. So the alphabet agencies. There were several alphabet agencies to help the unemployed. Now, one of these was FERA, the Federal Emergency Relief Act. And what that was all about, it was actually giving emergency relief to the people who were desperate, who were starving and homeless on the streets. So $500 million was put into the Federal Emergency Relief Act. And in the short term, it did stop a lot of people from starving to death. But unfortunately, in the long term, once the money was gone, it was gone. So it was only going to be a short-term measure, which obviously proved a problem later on. Once the money had gone, they had to look for other ways to try and help the people who were the homeless, the hungry and the unemployed. So what they did is they started to introduce other alphabet agencies for the unemployed, one of which was the CW, Civil Works Administration. Now, unfortunately for Roosevelt, he got a pretty hard time over this. Because from 1933 to 1934, he created 4 million jobs. The problem with the 4 million jobs were they were seen as pointless. So it was things like, and yes, I'm not lying, researching the history of the safety pin, scaring away pigeons, and people got $1 a day to do those jobs. Now, the thing he was trying to do was get people back out to work and give them a point to get up on a morning. So it worked in terms of that. But people criticised it because they said in the long term, it's just a waste of money. So after a year, he had to abandon that and also 4 million jobs. Now the other two that are fairly similar that he did to help the unemployed was the Public Works Administration and Administration. So listen carefully to the differences between these. So the PWA, this is Public Works Schemes. So he paid people to get involved in making hospitals, schools, motorways, things that actually would be long-term benefits for America. So people were happy with this, and it put a lot of skilled people back to work. So like carpenters, plumbers, things that people actually, were skilled at before, and they could use the skills on these things. So that was something that was a real positive. Now the WPA was the Works Progress Administration, and they also did public work schemes, but smaller things like smaller roads and smaller buildings and things like that. But also they employed some really specialised people who were like artists, photographers and writers, so they also got employed. So the writers would write guidebooks about different states and things. People who were actors would go into schools and do plays about, the New Deal working and how fantastic it was. And then the photographers would take pictures of the Depression and then the New Deal in action. And actually that employed over 2 million people. So there was certainly a lot of people who went back out to work that way. So that's how he started to help the unemployed.